What it is, YouTube? Is your boy DC coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. I wanted to do a vocal preset for a very underrated artist that I like a lot. His name is T9 and he is from like North Florida and everything like that. So let's get right to it. If you guys do like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and suggest more artists down below. So here we go. Let's get to listening to the preset.
I keep a check on me like Nike, so you don't like me. Glizzy up who fighting, no we ain't fighting. Might put the beam at high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like what the league read, just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit, we love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't fuck yet. And like MC, I keep a hammer, you can't touch this. Tell her what I'm in for. I'm smoking in dope. We slide with cutters, hit the house, knock off his kinfolks. I keep a check on me like Nike, so you don't like me. Glizzy up who fighting, no we ain't fighting. Might put the beam at high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like what the league read, just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit.
Okay, so you guys got an understanding of what we're working with here today. T9 is a really dope melodic rapper, and you know, on this song too, he had Polo G as well. This is like a whole vocal preset on how to get those dope, modern, mainstream, melodic rap vocals. Okay, so with a guy like T9, he kind of has a vocal that has like a low mid type of presence, and sometimes even with the way his voice be sagging down sometimes, you know what I mean? It feels like he's having like a little bit of that power in the lower register. So that's what we want to keep with T9's voice, is a nice, really nice mainstream presence while also being melodic. So these are the auto-tune settings. For the most part, it's very humanized. You can't really hear the auto-tune. I feel like the auto-tune is more tying up his melody together. It's kind of serving as a knot or a rope, and it's just kind of tying up the lyrics melodically to the beat and everything like that. So sometimes auto-tune don't really got to be heard too crazy. But let's see what it sound like with and without the preset.
I keep a check on me like Nike, so you don't like me. Glizzy up who fighting, no we ain't fighting. Might put the beam at high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like what the league read, just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit, we love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget. And like MC, I keep a hammer, you can't touch this. Tell him what I'm in for, I'm smoking in dope.
So, you know, with a T9 type of vocal, I feel like he has a lot of other songs too, like Mind of a Menace, etc., that are like really melodic and really smooth. So that's why I'm going for something that has like a little bit more of a tube saturation, because I know tube compressors, they aren't as, you know, fast as like VCA or FET compressors. They're really kind of slow bumping and grooving, and that fits the flow of T9. So as an engineer, you got to pick compressors and EQ that match the vibe of the artist's flow. You like how I said, a very mute compressor. I understand the nature of it is slower, and he kind of got like a slower, more bumping. Just check on me like Nike. So just the rhythm or the way the rapper's rapping is all automatically gonna help me be like Sherlock Holmes and investigate what type of tools I gotta use to make it sound the best. So I use the Abbey Road RS124. I put the sidechain filter on it, of course, because this is kind of like a really slow compressor, but it has a really nice vermouth tone that pushes up that mid-range for T9.
I keep a check on me like Nike, so you don't like me. Glizzy up who fighting, no we ain't fighting. Might put the beam at high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like what the league read, just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit, we love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget.
So I'm using more of this compression situation where it's like positioning, right? I'm helping the vocal come up a little bit forward, because I know that the Abbey Road RS124, that All-Tech compressor has a way of that tube just beefing up a little bit of the low end, right? So that's what we getting started out with, right? And then I use the SSLE channel. I feel like this vocal that T9 did, him and Polo G, the vocals just sounded really, really clean. So of course it's all about how you know, I want to manage the low end. His voice is somewhat deep. I would say not necessarily deep, but low. He has a certain cadence to him that it kind of makes him sound like a little bit like he got Down syndrome a little bit, you know, like, not that I'm trying to make fun of people who got Down syndrome, but his cadence of his voice is kind of like jiggle me like that, very, very lethargic type of vocal tone he has. So we're rolling off a little bit of bottom, a little bit of mid-range, and most important is using like a low level threshold, right? To pull the vocal together, to serve kind of like a bow on a present and wrap kind of like the whole nuances of the vocal together. So when you put like a low ratio, bruh, and a high threshold, I'm telling you, bruh, it's going to pull the whole vocal together. Like, you know, it lets the compressor put more of his hand inside of the cookie jar. If you do a higher ratio, it kind of reacts more to like the peak energy. The peak energy is what's going to trigger it a little bit more, you know?
I keep a check on me like Nike, so you don't like me. Glizz it up, who fighting? No, we ain't fighting. Might put the beam at high speed. This shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap, please. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget. And like MC, I keep a hammer, you can't touch this.
After that, we have something like a R de-esser. I like the R de-esser. I picked it over here specifically because it has the range button. So the range kind of lets me set how far the de-esser will go no matter what, right? So I do want the de-esser to work like how it usually does work, but I feel like there were certain words that on this song that maybe, you know, they kind of got out of hand a little bit. So I'm setting up a boundary. I'm drawing a borderline. You feel me? I'm setting a hopscotch mark on the playground and saying, yo, de-esser, you cannot go past this line, Jit. This is my territory. You feel me? So yeah, we put in at a range of 8.
I keep a check on me like Nike, so you don't like me. Glizz it up, who fighting? No, we ain't fighting. Might put the beam at high speed. This shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap.
So that's why I picked the R de-esser over the regular Waves de-esser. After that, you know, of course, at this point at T9, he had that plosive in the very beginning. Pull up on that dumb shit. So of course I use my C4 multiband with a slowish attack on the low end because I wanted that plosive to come through because I want you to feel like pull up. You feel me? That gust of air is that power that makes it more convincing of what a rapper like T9 is saying. He's kind of a street rapper, you feel me? I think T9 was in prison for a couple years, so he just came out, and that's why I'm just doing this preset. I was supposed to do it, but I was like, oh, you know, you gotta let him come out and all that stuff like that, you feel me? So yeah, that's why I did a slower attack on the low end to let a lot of the plosives kind of come through because that was like the impact, that was the force, that was the jet rocket fuel. Woo! Like when an airplane takes off that jet booster in the back, I want you to feel that woo, helping the vocal take off, you know? Listen to that pull up.
I keep a check on me like Nike, so you don't like me. Glizz it up, who fighting? No, we ain't fighting. Might put the beam at high speed. This shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I keep a check on my high speed. This shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit.
So it's like I lose all of the transient off of that pull, off that gust of air. I lose all the transient if I do a faster attack. So understand that too. When you set in the compressor, that attack time is kind of like how greedy, how stingy, how like Mr. Krabs with the claws is the compressor to pinch the, you know, the plosives, the nuances, and etc. Like the transients in the vocals. So you see how I did that on purpose emotionally, understanding that's the first line of the verse, and he said pull up, and that pull up gotta really make you feel like that nigga really pulled the fuck up. You feel me? So that's why I have a slower attack on the C4 for that right there specifically. After that, we're using the RVOX, we're playing into T9 strengths. We doing like a push and pull. So with the C4, you know, of course, we controlling that low mid. Now we boosting back that low mid with the RVOX, right? So, you know, this is just kind of like taking away a couple of pieces of candy out of the bowl, but now we kind of boosting that candy back, you know, with the RVOX. You feel me? Getting that sweetness in that lower body.
My high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget. And like MC, I keep a hammer.
So me understanding how to work those two compressors, you can hear it damn near sounds like an EQ move. Like rather than to be like, oh, I want my mid range to sit better, I'm actually using the compressors, two compressors back to back to get my mid range to hold and sit better rather than actually use EQ. So check that out.
My high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget. And like MC, I keep a hammer, you can't touch this. Tellin' what I live for. I'm smoking indo. We slide with cutters, hit the house, knock off his kinfolks. Yeah.
All right, so after that, we have a fresh air, which is giving a little bit of brightness to the vocal, a little bit of sugar, you know, a little bit sweet and spicy, honey habanero, you know, seasoning to the vocal. You feel me?
My high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap, please. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget. And like MC, I keep a hammer, you can't touch this. Tell
After that, I use the API 560. I use the API 560 because I know API is a more of a modern tone. I didn't want to get all of my brightness from the fresh air. So I was like, okay, cool. I use this for specifically for a couple things for color, right? I turn on the analog because the sample on this song is like a sample that has a little bit like a vinyl noise. Not maybe not necessarily vinyl noise, but it has an analog tone to it. So that's how sometimes you can make your vocal fit better into the beat. If it's a sampled beat, you might want to use some analog plugins because they impart a certain vintage tone, usually that rounds off the high end or with the or whatever, that will make it feel cohesive tonally. You feel me? Tonally alone, bro. And then we boosting up a little bit of the airband and we pulled back a little bit of these lows. I highlighted it all and I pulled it back a little bit, kind of like a low shelf or a bass treble control in your whip. When you want to back off a little bit more bass, it's not like a bell, it's more like a whole shelf, you know?
my high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be us.
We had another de-esser after that. At that point, I just liked how the Waves de-esser sounded like right here. After that, we using a Wave Silk vocal. Ooh, you know I love using the Wave Silk vocal. I used it in parallel though. It's like giving me like a little parallel compression and dynamic resonance reduction.
My high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget. And like MC, I keep a hammer, you can't touch this. Tell him what I'm in for. I'm smoking.
His vocal kind of is scraggly on that song. It's like it sounds like a crumpled up ass sheet of paper, you feel me? Type shit. So because I understand the texture is a crumpled up sheet of paper, that's gonna play into my mind, you feel me? That's gonna play into my mind what compressors, how I'm setting my auto-tune and my auto-tune crackling and popping. That's kind of what I'm looking for here too a little bit. Then we have an eighth note delay. I mean, very obvious he used the eighth note delay and only had the high end playing on that song. Then we have the Abbey Roads plate. The Abbey Roads plate, putting in a little bit of that work, man. I love that Abbey Roads plate. Sounded super warm, cutting off bottom and top. After that, we had a doubler stomp, and of course, we know what doubler stomp do, bruh. We know what that doubler stomp do between that detuned, fam. Between that detuned and the delay and all that stuff like that, it makes the auto tune a little bit more smoother, you know what I mean? And then we had another Abbey Road RS124, and I love these set of presets, bro, like the smooth and then vocal presence. Oh my God, bro, that's him, bruh. So I use smooth lead vocal. And when I use smooth lead vocal, that Verimute compressor just slamming down, it gave even more presence, bruh.
My high speed, this shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. When I put 50 on my wrist, they gon' be upset. And she already in her feelings, we ain't forget. And like MC, I keep a hammer, you can't touch this. Tell him what I'm in for. I'm smoking in though.
All right, and really quickly, let's go over the ad-libs that we got for T9. So we used the SSL channel, rolling off top and a little bit of bottom. And I did like a high shelf because I did want the ad-libs to have somewhat of a little bit of air. And then we used the CLA 76, all buttons in mode to get some distortion, dirty up, throw a little bit of dirt, throw a little bit of mulch, throw a little bit of grease, throw a little bit of wax, throw a little bit of motherfucking shoot on them ad libs to make them sound a little dirty. You hear me? And then put a little bit of silk vocal on it. And I was using the gate too, you know, to make the ad libs pump a little bit more.
Nike, so you don't like me. Glizzy up who fighting. No, we ain't fighting. Might put the beat my high speed. This shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Nike, so you don't like me. Glizzy up who fighting. No, we ain't fighting. Might put the beat my high speed. This shit excite me. I'm like, what the league read? Just give me cheap. Put up on that dumb shit. We love that nonsense. Nike, so you don't like me. Glizzy up who fighting. No, we ain't fighting.
I feel like T9 doesn't really do ad libs too much, but you know, he really is a dope artist, and usually his ad libs are kind of like accenting his top melody. So after that, we got a meta flanger putting in some work, helping us get some wobble out of the whole situation. And we got a double stomp again going into our reverb, and I kind of like what it does. It kind of spreads out the reverb a little bit. So that is the end of the video here today. If you guys do like the video, you guys learned something, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Suggest more artists down below. We have a very long list, but we're getting to it. All right. And also, if you want to support the channel, check the links in the description as well. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys for watching this video here today. Appreciate y'all, my YouTube family. Peace.